Mestre, eu vou sentar aqui. O Jimmy pode sentar ali. Eu vou ficar aqui que eu também quero aprender, viu, mestre? Eu vou ficar de frente pro senhor que eu quero ouvir também.
Needs to respect me. Greatly proud of most important instrument, particularly from there, the order is guided. Okay, so the game master is guided.
Messi 他有一个建议给我们，就是说，我们的在我们的列里面呢，在我们的列里面哈，阿达巴你要尊重鞭炮，你不要冲比较快，因为鞭炮才是那个就是整个最重要的乐器嘛，它最重要的乐器，所以你所有的节奏你是要跟它的，你是要跟它的。那阿达巴它声音很重，所以它就是它像心跳一样，所以你很容易就会被它拉走。所以你打阿达巴的人，你一定要去稳住，你要去稳住那个东西，你要去稳住那个节奏，你不能跑到它前面去。那你要尊重他 ，OK。
So that also means that attack needs to play not as strong as a beating rock because everybody should be able to hear. How can the beating rock bells communicate to the whole rock?
所以说，阿达巴比他不能打到强过鞭炮，不能说把他声音都盖掉。你比他强的话，那鞭炮就没有办法去 hold 整个 hold 的，他就没有办法去去跟所有的去交流还是指挥啦，去指挥整个场面这样子。
So if you produce a CD, for instance, then in the studio have these different volumes, right? Looking up and down, until you can see it's all fine-tuned. We don't have this, but all the people in the city need to have ears and try to follow and adjust both speed, but also the power, the output.
就是那我们现场当然不像 DJ 台那样子，我们可以音控那种东西，这个调上，这个调下这样子。可是我们坐在巴德利的这边的人，你耳朵要听，耳朵要听，你要听你的音量、你的声音、你的节奏快慢，跟你旁边的人他的声音是怎么样的，那要互相去配合这样子。
But it can be adjusting up and down. Also during this order, there was a little some kind of time it was too weak, so it was disappearing, not being part of the full picture. Right? So it can be up and down. And to be very frank with you, in the beginning, I was a big workshop in Hamburg, and I had practiced capoeira for some time. I was playing Agua, and then in front of maybe 100 people, the master came and asked, please pass on the word to somebody else. I was not playing it right. So I know it is difficult in the beginning, and it can be maybe helpful to have a feedback. I remember that was a little bit painful, right, in front of 100 people. But capoeira is more important than me. It's important I listen to the feedback, I just also pass on instrument. So if there's somebody not has skills, sufficiently skilled for harder, like I know you do music training, and that is absolutely perfect. Please continue. At the time of the harder, you should know whether or not you have sufficient skills and experience to support it. Having that said, we are who we are, so we do our best all together.
就是Mr. 刚刚有分享一个经历，就是说他以前曾经在一个很大的100-200人的喝胆， 100-200人的一个活动里面哦，然后他拿那个阿姆洛，然后打，然后被人家要求，请不要打，你给我，被圣名，然后这样。所以那个就记忆深刻这样子，所以但是他知道所以他知道他那个打的，因为他打不会。所以这个其实这个经验人人都有，他有我也有这样，叫我不要打，不要打给什么都有这样子。那所以这个东西就是说，你必须打得正确，你在一个battery里面，你在一个拖仔里面才会你做的才是正确的事情。那这个就是我们随时要去注意四周的精进自己的技术，然后精进自己的技术，对，然后去听旁边的声音，这样互相去配合。然后我们现在像我们现在礼拜6都有在练习音乐，对不对？那这个那是说要继续下去，这是件好事，要继续下去，一定要这样子练习下去，你才能有充分的足够的技巧。去面对任何的场面。
So I would like to add that I really enjoy how much you know already by music, by playing instruments, by singing a lot of songs. Your commitment to capoeira, you practice a lot, you learn songs, your patience step by step. So in this room, so much experience, and you have shown and contributed to that in the hardest, so much strong energy. Everyone are doing their work. Every group, you have come here and joined, and it's happened. So we say, Capoeira, we are here to contribute, and you have done that in a fantastic way. Thank you so much for contribution for this great meeting. All the classes, very beautiful classes, and very patient instructions, and very deep knowledge that we have to consume. Some of the small things, like how you put your foot, it is experience from generations passed on to generations. So you don't need to learn. It doesn't need to take you 15 years to learn. If you pay attention, listen to these instructions, because they have built up through generations before us, and we have only to pass it on to generations.
Messi 他说他这几天他有看到我们在这边我们做了很多事情，那我们学了各式各样的东西，那我们把它放在我们把它呈现在这个活动里面。那后来就这样子，他每个人去做他自己该做的事情。那这样子每个人大家一起把这个把这个现场的能量建立起来，这样子才会有越来越好的呈现。然后我们这几天Messi 给我们 Messi 还有 Formosa Capoeira 他给我们很好的workshop。那 Capoeira 他给我们的他教我们的东西，他非常的耐心，然后 detail 很细节，还有很多很细节的部分，也有很多很深的部分，这才一步一步的教。那有些这些东西，我们有时候。也许我们需要花上10几年的时间，10几20年的时间，才有办法去体会这些东西。可是如果有一个人带着我们的话，那这就是可以我们走在前脚路上。那所以我们耐心的花时间去体会他教给我们的东西，这样子会对我们有帮助。
大致上，有一个地方稍微补充一下，就是他是说，哈巴耀老师非常仔细的教我们，有些东西呢，如果我们真的要去学的话，我们可能要花上几10年、50年的时间。但是因为是老师他们已经学好，是一代一代传下来的知识，所以我们可以不用等50年，好好的跟老师学，马上就可以学到。当然你要学得好。那如果要熟练的话，当然不是说1堂课就可以学好，还是要持续的练习，才能够真的学到位。
谢谢。
So we cannot learn capoeira alone. This has been one of the ideas we have tried 2000 to understand. Once again, my personal story. I was first and then my country to practice capoeira. So I know from my own every cell I could not do capoeira. I had to ask friends to come and practice with me. And I had a friend going to Brazil, brought back 2 billy bars. We didn't know how to set the billy bars. So I had to call a friend in the Netherlands. It would be like if you had to call somebody from Colombia to come just to show you how to set the billy bar. Then he taught me 10 songs he wrote in hand. That time it was in hand paper. And then there was times fita cassette. I don't know if you know. Cassette. So we were taping that, practicing and trying to bend the billy bar. So I had to call one that was living 1,500 kilometers, another country, to bring him. I had to pay his travel, of course. How could I do that? Only by convincing 8 of my friends, let's do capoeira. This is fantastic, I love it. You love it too, and they believed in me. So we paid his ticket, we came. Okay? So for us to learn, we cannot learn alone. We need also to organize, to make these things happen. And I had not had the fortune to have them, because as you stand, a teacher, a master, to teach me every day from my first steps. From the first beginning, I had to go out and learn, go home, practice, go out, and afterwards, master. So I'll show you something funny. This, can you see this? I have a brother, he's older than me, he has all his hair. So this is not genes. This is me practicing, how's it, sliding on my head. So I love to do that a lot when I was young. Nobody told me that just me put a hat when you do it that much, right?
Yes.
Nobody told me. So along the years, yeah, I got like this. And now you can know, like, you know, you guys, they have these funny ears, right? A lot of capoeira guys have this funny hair. Okay, so just for you to know, we cannot learn alone. We have to go together, meet together. For this to happen, we need to organize. Like Professor has done for us to meet exchange experience. Then about the responsibility, also a true story. Once I had one student, the responsibility in the holiday is for everyone. So once I had a student, she told me that she had in the holiday felt that she would like the holiday, the rhythm to be a bit slower pace. So she was there in the holiday trying to slow down the clapping because she wanted the holiday to slow down. Right? That is not the responsibility of the participants. Each and every one to have an idea of the holiday and how you like it to go. There's only one. That is the one on the Google. Okay, that is the game master. So we say we have Formosa Capoeira, Formosa Capoeira is the one commanding the holiday on the Google. Maybe it's not a master, it's more experienced. But everybody, no matter, even if this person makes errors, you have to follow. Because that is a discipline. The discipline is not to have your own plans around the holiday, your own individual ideas of what's going on. So everybody had to be responsible by contributing during our part. Then just maybe this passed on to another during our can be, but if that is done, it's a big responsibility to pass it on to somebody who has had the level of experience to carry. Maybe I do it for a student at my home, then they still ask me if they feel like maybe I'm forgetting about time and talking to a beginner about pitting. monthly fee, right? So I'm at the corner, the other continues. Maybe if I was, okay, it's 20 minutes already maybe. Then you will ask me, like, what about maybe changing for a faster rhythm? Yes, of course, you're right. Thank you for reminding me. So if I'm in the room still, and the group has been a master, my students will ask me when they are at home, they want to do things, we have to follow those ways. Yeah, in that sense, sitting behind the gunga, it's a ritual. It's not a person with the gunga. So you need to have the same humility as and pass on the tradition, ritual, and not try to improve it. Some people think they can improve it. New people steal something and make something and put a new brand and money in it. So a bit piece for capoeira, put the new thing. Even as a capoeira, some people use my style or something like that. So be careful with this. And then always be curious. We all want to be curious. Only curious can be curious. So we can get inspired. Okay, that's my last words. you can translate as much as you can.
我要从他前面那个故事开始。
简单就好，
简单就好，就是好，简单就好，就是说这个，就是说，在一个后台里面，我们每个做回来的人，我们每个人大家有自己的想法，或者是大家会有自己的想法，但是我们还是要去尊重这个传统。那就像说我们在一个后台里面，人包他有他的节奏，对不对？那你有他可能现在走得很快，他节奏很快，然后你外面的人在拍手的人啊，你可能想要慢下来，然后但你不可能说你他节奏很快，你慢慢拍手啊，你希望把这个整个速度拉下来，这不可能，你必须去听他的。所以我们还是需要，不是说大家有自己的那个想法，就是照自己想法去行事这样子，还是要去协同这样子，然后要去尊重要去尊重啊，所以也就是说，我们还是要去尊重这个他原本应该有的样子，他应该有的传统。不好意思，是这样。
对，没错。
那前面的他的那个故事就，下次再说。
然后再。
So please, Raphael, share some of your reflections.
Porra, mestre. Caralho. Eu não tenho. Guys, I'm just very glad to be here. I've been in Taiwan a few times, you know, and every time that I come, you know, I always come with my mind very open, also to learn, you know, because some of you guys is the first time that I met, some of you guys I met before. I have some of my guys that are always with me, you know. But for me, the most important is to be here, share like how Mess has been telling since Friday. You know, he's not here to boss anybody around. He's not here to tell people what to do, what to not do. You know, he's just passing along. It's like a guardian. When you say how to say in English, a guardian. Yeah, a guardian. So his Mess teach him the same thing that, you know, my master teach me, what I'm teaching to my guys, you know. And capoeira is not mine. Will never be mine. You know, capoeira is here. You know, capoeira is for everybody. You know, it's just we need to be very careful. You know, and sometimes we asking for too much and we give too little. You want to be a good capoeirista, you want to be a good music player, but you don't come to class, you don't train, you don't practice, You know, it's very hard. It's almost impossible. You know, not saying that. For example, now I'm getting older and I don't see my capoeira going down. You know, I see my capoeira be more smart now. You know, the way how I train, the way how I practice, the way how I connect myself with capoeira, you know. In some days, all of us, you know, we are very busy. Some of us are fathers, like Jimmy, myself, Messi, some of you guys that have kids, I don't know. So life gets very busy. As old as we get, life gets like busy and busy, you know. Some days I'm coming to casa, you know, and I'm full of energy. I train with these guys, but some days, you know, is it? You know, like you need to understand that, you know. But what I always try to do is I always try to be in touch with capoeira. I always. Is reading a book. You know, these days hardly for people to read a book. Everything. Even if it's like scrolling my phone there, my phone is, you're always going to see BJJ and capoeira. That's always going to come in my feed. BJJ, capoeira, because it's the things that I always try to be connected. You know, if I'm in home, my home is always going to have a pandeiro, a berimbau, for me to always be in touch with capoeira. So then I know capoeira is always going to be here with me, you know, because capoeira never stops. They're all here. Then if you come together, she will bring you together with it. But if you not coming, if you don't give too much, they will leave you behind. And sometimes for us to catch up is like, you know, so it's just, you know, be close to capoeira, you know, in all aspects. If you cannot come to class and train, and as you're here, even if you injure, come and sit here. Give a support to your, like the other day before we come here, the guys was already off to Taiwan, and then I was talking to Ken. So I said, oh, my knee, I'm going to rest my knee for Taiwan. So I'm going to rest. I said, no, Ken, come to the school, you know, because I was not going to be there. I know Joke was not there. Durin was going to be by himself. I said, just come, practice your berimbau, because I know you're going to be playing a lot of berimbau this weekend. So he comes, he helps, you know. So this is what is more important. What Messi is being said, you know, it's the community. You know, it's the community. Like for example, like in my school, I'm not the most important person in my school. Every single person in my school is important. You know, because that's how it's like a watch. You know, like watch, like even like the very tiny piece inside your watch, that is very important, because that piece is gonna make the big ones, the small, the medium ones to work. You know, my job in my school is just to adjust. Sometimes someone goes out, I bring that person close. Sometimes this person go too fast, I just bring them down. So then everybody can close. That's how the community needs to be. I'm not better than nobody here. I have my own qualities that when I bring together with her quality, with Mess, with this guy here, with this guy, we have amazing thing happening, you know. So I believe these days, and once I get a little bit old, I had my prime, you know, the moment in my capoeira life that I was, you know what? I don't care, I just need to kick fast and you're not gonna go out of my kick, you know? I had my time that everything I solve inside there with a martel, with a fast compass like this, I have my moments like that, you know? But once you grow older, you know, you'll be smarter. You'll be smarter, you need to be careful with things like this, you know? Because we have one thing in capoeira that the very old capoeirista, we always say this, you know, quem bate esquece, quem apanha nunca esquece. Quem bate esquece, quem apanha não esquece. So like when you hit someone, You will forget that you hit that person, but that person will never forget that you hit. So you need to be careful with that. You know, along the way, all my years here in Asia, I met a lot of people. You know, and sometimes the person come, oh, you know, Professor, I remember you the time you give that martelo. Some people, they remember this, you know, so like the first impression is the one that is going to stay. So these days I try to be very careful, very careful, because that impression is going to stay for a long time. A lot of people remember, Professor, I remember last time when you did that compass, like, was very close to my head, you know. I don't remember things like that, you know, because I threw so many martelos, so many compasses. But the person that received this, I have time in my capoeira, join that, I remember people that hit me. They don't remember, but I remember them, you know. And it's up to me, you know, it's up to me if I'm gonna go after that, or if I'm gonna leave that behind, you know. But these days for me, it's so much more pleasurable when I go inside the hall and I shake the hand of someone and I get the biggest smile. That's better than I give someone a martelo in the face there, you know. It's nothing to prove. In the hall, there's nothing to prove, you know. And one advice, my last one that I give to you guys, you know, I feel that my capoeira improved so much when I start to go inside the roda and play capoeira for myself. You know, I and I, Rastafari, you know that? I and I. When you're inside the roda, it is you and you. You see what happened in this roda today? You guys, I don't think you guys see, but I saw. I was playing with Mestre, and I did something, and I went to talk to someone here, and I didn't watch. When I realized that I have to, this guy was so close to me. He didn't do because he didn't want to do. But that's the thing, you know, when I'm inside the roda is one-on-one. It's me and what is outside here. I don't want to say that doesn't matter because everybody in the roda is important, but that moment is I and I, and you know, so it's just inside the roda is a very important thing that Mess did in his workshop yesterday when he asked everybody to come inside the roda and express yourself. You remember when he come and say, everybody come. And suddenly someone start to do like this, and like suddenly everybody start to do your own thing, your own way to express yourself. You know? So in the roda there, I say this in Thailand when I was there. Every single game that we play today is unique. You're never gonna play that game again. You're only gonna play that game again if you go and you watch a tape and you play that game again. Copy. But because every single moment that happened inside there is one in a lifetime. You might will do the same kicks or the same moves, but that game, that connection, that thing, you're only gonna live once, you know. And to live that once, why I'm gonna spoil that? You know, I never see this guy before. When I played there, you know, I just wanna try to find that connection that I will remember. When I go back to Malaysia, when I go talk to my friends in Belo Horizonte, I'm only going to have good things to talk about, you know, because that connection that I make here, that I create here, was strong. No better than him, he is not better than me, you know. We are here for the same reason. I left my home, he left his home, everybody left your own home for the same reason, you know. So is help each other all the way, guys. It will be so much easier. Jimmy, your son, you right, right? Go there. Okay? Oh, people, thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure. Mestre. who was doing it, my cicatriz as well. Thank you very much. I just want to make sure and keep clear one thing here. Jim is doing a great work together with cicatriz there. Okay, this guy's been going through a lot of things, but they're here together, you know, and how I say, just come and support. That's what they need. That's what Capoeira needs. Doesn't matter if it's Mestre Chico, if it's the guys here with Angola there, if Ninja, if the guys with Union. You know, it's everybody is doing and looking for the same thing. To be happy playing Capoeira. You know? I already have so much stress at home. Go to work, my boss is stressing me out. You know, I go out on the street, I need to walk properly because if I do something, the police is gonna come, you know. So then when I come to Capoeira, when I can be myself, I can express. Yes, sir. No, sir. That for me don't work, you know. I know we are all grown up, and we know the things that we're supposed to do, the things that it's not nice for us to do, and when we don't know, this guy, he didn't know how to do the berimbau. He have to bring someone. When you don't know, ask. And these days, also one thing that we always need to be careful, people, especially these days. Back on my day, it was a little bit less dangerous because I can go to the mass and I can ask him. These days it's too much information in a gadget that sometimes we go and we look and we think that is right. So be careful with the things that you search here and there, you know. One funny story that I heard the other time, a lot of I hear from one of my friends in Brazil that he spent a lot of time with Mestre João Grande. Mestre João Grande do a lot of the gingas like this, right? And he moves like this, you know. So all the Angolenos, they start to do things like with João Grande, but they don't know why Mestre João Grande do that. Because Mestre João Grande is very tall. So that guy was explaining to me, you know why Mestre João Grande always touching the floor like this? It's just to release a little bit of the pressure on his back because it's very tall. Who told me today? Joe told me his lower back was very painful because he do a lot of the ginga, so he was doing that just to release. But some of the Angolenos, because it's Mestre João Grande, they always do that. So you see a lot of the Angolenos go. But that is something that Mestre João Grande do, you know. Mestre Cobra Mansa, he do a lot of things because that is the thing that they do, you know. So sometimes we need to be very careful with the things that we see, you know, even if they're small things, just try to go behind the really meaning of the things that you guys research, you know. And after that, everything will be fine and nice. Né? Muito obrigado, Jimmy, Cicatriz, Mestre here.
在这边学这个东西哦，回答这件事情。刚刚有讲到很多很重要的，就是说，这东西没有办法一个人做，这个卡布拉是没有办法一个人玩。你可以一个人躲在家里面练习，可是你没有办法一个人玩卡布拉。所以这个东西，卡布拉它是一个需要大家一起去合作，一起去合作，一起去建立，一起去把这个东西做起，把这个东西做出来，一起去做这件事情，卡布拉才会发生。它不是你一个人在家里面练习就会发生的东西。 它不是单纯是一个动作，或者是任何一个技巧，或者是任何一个部分，它包含了很多很多的东西。那需要大家一起去合作，去建立起这个东西，所以我们才说它是一个 community， 它是一个需要大家一起去合作，这是社群啊，社群实在是蛮怪的啊，这个词就是这个意思，它是需要大家一起来做的事情。所以每个人他都有每个人的那个，他有很多的方式，他有很多的面向，就是每个人也有每个人他的角色，每个人都是独一无二的。那就算你今天那个像我现在那个腰烂掉啊，然后或者是那个手变成饼干啊，但是我们还是有很多事情可以做。那我们还是能贡献出自己的去贡献出自己的心力，然后去在现场创造出更好的样子。所以大家就尽力的保持去接触卡布瑞拉，因为这东西就是你一旦不管它，它可能就会渐渐的离你而去，渐渐离我而去。有些时候，也许你的生活中，像我那时也在跟我讲，就是有时候你人生有各种过程，你并不是随时随地你都可以照你的心意去做你想要做的事情。那可是你尽力像卡布亚这个东西，你尽力的你试着去保持接触它，你不要去忘记它，总有一天你会回来。那卡布亚永远在那边，它永远在那边。当你回来的时候，你还是会接触这个东西。那像在台湾，我们就在这里，那所以我一直在保持这个东西。那我们人会来来去去，那我们还是会有一个卡维拉会有一个地方我们可以回来继续做这件事情的地方。那今天很感谢各位，感谢大家，感谢 Master， 感谢 Master， 感谢各位。Thank you so much. So many good things, good energy, and good sharing. Yeah. Good experience. 就是他们给我们的东西，他们把他们一直以来体会的、学会的，甚至他们在体验的事情传达给我们。那我们也是尽量的去做到把这件事情传达给其他人，这样子这样台湾的卡布亚的那个环境才会越来越好。啊，再次。刚开始来接触，你们真是 Formosa Capoeira.
Professor Jimmy.
So sure what's going on.
He's too shy.
Já nasceu na capoeira.
我们还要再感谢2个人哦，还有感谢2个人。郑健，还有台大的国药社团。 一直那个这几年就是我才回来半年多，那这几年都是他们在帮忙，一直维持了这个团队。
努力，辛苦，
然后还有谁要意思？感谢各位协助。information 昨天都讲了，今天就这样了，对，昨天都讲了，再跟大家讲，
跟昨天一样耶，
跟昨天一样，我们自己的那个活动，
这个很重要，
我们今年还会办的活动就是有10月份10月底11月初啦，10月底11月初我们请那个 Formosa Capoeira 来台湾，还有一个 workshop， 所以呢到时候也请大家来那个。这个机会超难得，好吗？这机会超难得 ，Red Champion， 这个机会超难得，大家那个可以的话，真的是来看一下，可以看一下，来参加一下，真的是难得，超难得。而且他英文也很好，然后还有剩下就是下半年的大家的活动，各个团体的活动都有很棒的大师会来，这个也都是希望大家可以去体验看看，去支持，去体验看看这样子环境。你们也知道吗？是上半年，你们大家谁有见到 message？ 有没有超屌，对不对？超屌，对不对？
哎，上飞机，早上。
好，后面 Messi 刚刚一样屌，一样屌 ，Messi Bola 一样屌，真都是像神一样，真的，不见得是可惜，真的每一个各个地方来的 Capoeira， 他们都有非常棒的地方，哦，真的是不要放过，真的是不要放过。
Can you play YouTube music on your speaker? Yeah. Yeah. You can?
Yeah.
Then I have a wish. You can play from YouTube,
yeah,
this
sure.
room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now?
Yes. So we will organize something for you guys. When you have your drink, change your clothes, say goodbye, there will be some music in this room.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Not for you to start to dance or to anything. We'll just be here. Pay attention to it, because the music that you will be hearing has a relation to what happened today. One is my students playing. My students have their band. They are playing for hot. Because our group is from Belo and Formosa is very big there. Okay? But when you hear it, maybe you'll think, it's just some music. It's just like Spotify stuff. Right? A lot of people there. But these are my students. It's not like anyone. My students, and they're playing for us because our group is from Belo. We got there, got inspired, and you will be impressed, I'm sure. And I'm so proud of you.